Okay, welcome back everyone. If you haven't used Zoom before, just a couple of quick notes for you now as you all return to the room. A couple of features that will be really useful for you today. You can find most of it located at the bottom bar in your Zoom window. Find the bottom bar in your Zoom window and find the chat feature. There's a chat feature. If you click on that speech bubble in the middle there, and you can say things to the entire room and like, well done. Like this, I'm going to say well done, because there's going to be lots of celebration and acknowledgement today. Also, another thing you can do, yeah, that's it, like that clapping there that Sharif has just done. Along that bottom bar there, you can find the reactions button. It's a smiley face, and you can find a clap or a thumbs up. We want plenty of that today, as well as the old kind of whatever, however you want to do it. But you can't do volume clapping because all your mics will be muted. The other place you can go and have a quick look, if you can find the participants icon in the bottom bar, it's a couple of figures and a number by it. That will give you in the top right-hand corner a list of names of people present. You can rename yourself there if you want to. Click on the More button, press rename, put the name of your organization or where you're from in the country. You can also use the icons underneath the participation window there to do things like thumbs up as well. So there you go. There's a few little features, and really encourage you to use those today and make sure we acknowledge as many people as possible in the time that we have together. So now that you've met a few people, I'm going to ask our board representative, Ray Bonney, if she would mind just giving us an acknowledgement of country to start the day and open the event. You need to unmute yourself, Ray.
Thank you so much for putting me on the spot there, Glenn. I actually don't have the words in front of me.
Okay. Do you want someone else to do it?
That would be great. Thank you.
Marvelous. Anyone like to do it? Who would like to do an acknowledgement to country? Who feels from Victoria or Tasmania?
I know Jonathan knows it back to front.
I'm happy to do it, but I like to share the opportunities to speak. Jonathan from Tasmania.
Happy to do it. Actually, very much inspired by you, Ray. Your calling me on this definitely has played a role, so thank you. So I'd like to acknowledge and pay respect to the traditional Aboriginal community as the traditional owners, pay respect to the Tasmanian Aboriginal community and of course the Victorian Aboriginal community as well, as the traditional owners and continuing custodians of the land on which we meet across here, Lutruwita, Tasmania. And I'd like to proudly acknowledge being on Muanina country near Nipaluna in Hobart.
Thanks, Jonathan from Men's Resources Tasmania. And for those who don't know, I'm Glenn Poole, CEO of the Australian Men's Health Forum, and I'm joining you today from up between Gladstone and Bundaberg, which are the traditional lands of the Gureng, the Gurang, the Bunda and the Balai people. So thanks everyone for being here. I also want to acknowledge any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in the room today. I'm not sure if we have anyone representing those communities, but we certainly have a number of projects in the National Men's Health Ward that are doing great work in terms of Aboriginal men's health. So it's Men's Health Week, people, and part of Men's Health Week is that we like to announce the Men's Health Awards. We would have loved to have travelled around the country and come to see you all like we did last year. But you may have noticed, the observant amongst you, that there's been a bit of a pandemic, and so we're doing it via Zoom instead. Today we are announcing the winners of the People's Vote for Victoria and for Tasmania. What we have this year is 5 national categories, and we have shortlisted candidates in every single category from every state and territory. And everyone who's been shortlisted and is going to be announced today as being on the shortlist is still in the running for the national award. So today, we're simply going to let you know which of the awards nominated in Tasmania and Victoria got the most people's votes. So we have 2 ways of deciding the winners. One is the people's vote, which projects are really resonating with the public. And also we have a judging panel for the national awards to make it, to balance it out between those sometimes smaller, quieter projects that don't have such a big social media following or a fan base. So we want to acknowledge both those ways of voting, the popular vote and the expert judging panel. And today it's all about who got the most clicks, who's got the most people who actually say, yes, this is the project that we love in our state and territory. So Shrufi, if you wouldn't mind sharing the Victoria slide, we'll work through the Victoria winners first. Now, if you're in the room and you're shortlisted, I need you to shout out. I'm going to look around the room and keep an eye out for you. I'm going to come to you to say hello. This will work really well if you're able to say hello in about 30 seconds. I would love you all to spend 15 minutes presenting on your project, but we're not going to have time. And we want to get to the winners before it's tea time. So in Victoria and Tasmania, we have these 5 categories: Local Men's Health Hero Award, the Best Men's Lived Experience Speaker, the Best Men's Group or Programme, Women Working in Men's Health, and Significant Response to COVID-19. We'll start with the Local Men's Hero Award. One nominee in Victoria, and is here with us, Lindsay Oates of the Victorian Men's Shed Association. Lindsay, do you want to say hello and a little bit about VMSA? You need to unmute yourself. I know you're here. You were the first person here. Have we lost Lindsay? Oh, he's there. Yeah, you need to unmute yourself, Lindsay.
Yeah, there's a big truck has just gone past. Thank you. You okay now?
You go.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry about that. There's just a bit of noise where I'm down in South Dandenong, a lot of noise. Yes, it's a real honour with this award. The Victorian Men's Shed Association is a organisation of around about 325 sheds with probably in the vicinity of 20,000 men around Victoria. And many of the sheds are celebrating Men's Health Week this week, but things are happening and tightening down as well in Victoria. Some of our councils have said yes, they could open, the sheds could open, and now they're sort of changing the tune a bit because they're just worried about a second or third wave in some of the areas. But no, thank you for that. We've been doing a lot of work and keeping in contact with our shedders right across the state, and it's been very good how they've done that. Very unique in many ways, not only through Zoom, it's been first for some, but through other ways of taking photos and using that as the backdrop and all sorts of things. So
right,
it's been very useful. Thanks very much.
No, it's great to see you making the shortlist, Lindsay. When you look at things from a national perspective, you're not always aware of what happens at that regional level, but as soon as you go down into Victoria and put boots on the ground, you soon hear people talking about the very important work that Men's Sheds, via the Victorian Men's Sheds Association, is doing, representing all those sheds across Victoria. And the first name that springs up is Lindsay. He's out there doing stuff on a daily basis, I know, and a real worthy nominee for the Local Men's Health Hero Award.
Thank you.
Great. So another man who shows up large in Victoria, and I've not seen face to face for a while, but we've been at events together in the past, is the first nominee in the Best Men's Lived Experience Speaker category. It's Lane Stretton of Roses in the Ocean. G'day, Lane.
Hey Glenn, hi mate. It has been a little while since we caught up. Firstly, can I just say I just want to acknowledge any lived experience that's also in the Zoom room at the moment, whether that's lived experience from a mental health perspective or lived experience from a suicide perspective. The wisdom and insight, knowledge that comes from lived experience is immensely valued in our communities. So my background is as the chair of an organisation called SALT, Sport and Life Training, which gave 1,000 presentations in sporting clubs in the last 12 months, and as the board advisor and lead facilitator for Roses in the Ocean, a suicide prevention network of lived experience people all around the country that we train to use their voices in advocating for change in different communities around the country. Very passionate about both of them, but also today's a very special day for me, and I couldn't think of a better way to spend this moment in time than with you all. because today is the 22nd year anniversary of my brother's death by suicide. And it's a day of great memory for us, but also it helps to remind me of the amazing work that's going on, not only from Roses in the Ocean, but from all of you who are out there flying the flag for mental health and for suicide prevention. And I'm very grateful for each one of your voices, and really grateful to be nominated for something that's very special to me, and I'm really passionate about. Thanks, Glenn.
Right, thanks for being here, Lane. I'll never cease to be amazed at the amazing work that people who've been hit by the tragedy of suicide do by turning that experience into an opportunity to make a difference for others. And amazingly, you're not the only person in this room today who's doing that. I would just want to honour what you personally do, plus your work with Salt and Roses in the Ocean, which goes beyond just simply sharing your story for others. It's making that bigger contribution of really building organisations and communities that are resilient to suicide. So great work, Lane. Thank you. Next, last time I met this bloke was on a plane to Gladstone. Got on the plane at Brisbane, on the plane to Gladstone, and I couldn't believe it. The bloke in the seat next to me was Mr. Matt Reynolds. Lovely to see you again, Matt. Would you like to let us know who you are?
Thanks for having me, mate. And yeah, just on the back of another speaking gig up there in Gladstone. So I'm just fortunate that we're able to go right across this country and share meaningful conversations. And on the back of what Lane just said, love and strength to you, mate, and everybody else in this chat today that's been through and works on the hardest edges of love and life. And it's never easy, but it's definitely worthwhile. And I'm just very grateful, like I said, that I'm able to share my experiences in the betterment of others and talk about the loss of my 8 mates every single day. And that fills me full of great pride and great hope for other meaningful conversations that we start right around the country. So yeah, we're Mindful Oz. We're just encouraging people to come out of the surrounding shadows of stigma via self-acceptance and stories of lived experience with a proactive approach, I guess, early intervention, working with kids as young as 3 and 4, which is a really beautiful thing. So just very grateful for this today, and grateful for every single person in this chat that's doing incredible work on these hard and sharp edges of love and life. Great to see you, Matt. Looking forward to seeing you in the flesh sometime soon. Wonderful work you're doing, sharing your story and inspiring others, making a difference. Thanks for being here. So we move on to the best men's group or program. We've got 2 shortlisted entries in this category for Victoria too. Firstly, Mikey Lee of Island of Men.
Hey Glenn, g'day everyone. It's a real honour to be sitting here and to be just in this conversation amongst such incredible men and women that are doing this work, offering their support to our community of brothers and sisters that really need what it is that we're all offering. So just really honoured to be here and grateful for the opportunity and grateful for the nomination. We're all about creating really safe spaces for men to be fully expressed in all that they are and find deeper connection to themselves, to each other, and by in turn to nature. And so that's really what the Island of Men is all about. And at the moment we've moved all of our practices online as well, but really looking forward to getting back in the flesh and giving the brothers a hug. So yeah, thanks a lot, Glenn.
Great, and I had the absolute honour of sitting in a virtual circle with Mikey last night. Go and check out our Men's Health TV channel on Facebook for that 1-hour conversation if you haven't seen it yet. And Mikey, I just want to say it's great to have you here. You're one of those, I kind of feel like there's this new breed of men's work. There's a new generation of men's work, which really does honour and build on the men's work that was done in the past, but also brings a kind of a new approach and a new passion. And one of the ways you see that is the way that it explodes out onto social media, and you can feel the contagion. And it's amazing the energy that's come out of innovations like Menergy down in Victoria, and just seeing how from that kind of work the Island of Men has just really taken off at such a great speed in the last year or so, and delighted to see that that's now being recognised by our community.
And Glenn, on that note, if I can just acknowledge Men's Wellbeing Australia and Robert Arhoon and the work that they do up there out of Queensland, and also the Menergy guys, which really paved the way for the Island of Men to be birthed. Yeah, thank you for your time.
Great. Thanks, Mikey. So another innovation from Australia that's kind of spreading in a different way is the Tough Guy Book Club. I think it's got about 30 branches now. It's just basically, in very simple terms, as I understand it, a book club for blokes. But what it's doing as well is doing that really massively important part of men's health and well-being, which is providing social connection for blokes. So I'm sure Shay can explain it much better than I can. Here's Shay from the Tough Guy Book Club. You still with us, Shay?
Yep, I'm here.
Right.
That was a pretty good description, actually. So we run. Hi everyone, I'm Shay from Tough Guy Book Club. We run men's book clubs in Australia and a bunch overseas. We've got around 50, I think now, just under 50. Our plan is to put decent conversations back in the pub. We work in spaces where men can read more and talk more, get out of the house, not worry about what they do for a living or their responsibilities, but have conversations about how guys are portrayed in books, you know, whether they're a bit shit, whether you can be better. So we do that. We're all over Australia, and we're a volunteer organisation. We specialise in looking after and kind of getting guys who don't fall into traditional mental health care. And that's why we are the thing we are. So I'm not sure what else to say about it, guys.
Perfect.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And you're absolutely what we consider to be men's health. You know, of course, men's health is going to the doctor and getting a prostate check and, you know, trying to stop drinking and smoking, but we're really interested in the things that keep you healthy, like relationships.
We're pretty bad at stopping people drinking. That's not within our wheelhouse. All that other stuff we're pretty good at, but getting people out of the pub we're terrible at.
So I'll leave it at that. That's great. Thanks, Shay. So the next category is something new this year. I mean, we are unashamedly proud of the fact that in sectors like health and social care and community settings that mostly women employed, we're really proud of the fact that our sector's full of blokes working, helping blokes, mates helping mates, dads supporting dads, older blokes helping older blokes. It's a massive part of what our sector is all about. And there are some awesome women working across our sector, making a difference in the lives and the health of men and boys of all backgrounds and all ages. And we thought it would be a great thing to do to actually shine a spotlight on some of that work. And we've been overwhelmed by the number of nominations across the country we've had in this category. So we've obviously tapped into something. I don't know if either Gay or Peter and Leah are here. I don't think Gay is. Are Peter and Leah here from Builder Brotherhood? Okay, so I'll just briefly let you know who these great women are. So Gay runs an amazing prostate cancer support group, which is about prostate cancer in the bedroom. It's providing support for men and women when the bloke's been through a cancer diagnosis, to talk about all those issues around intimacy and rebuilding relationship. And Peter and Leah are another organisation which has come out of the tragedy of having lost a family member to suicide. And the feedback we're getting on the work they're doing, building support groups for men in Victoria, is really powerful. And I'd recommend you go and check out what they're up to. It's great. Three great women, two great organisations. Good to see them acknowledged. I'm not sure whether Dadi Munro is represented. Check out Dadi Munro, Aboriginal Service in Victoria, doing amazing work, and they've really responded. So this category is significant response to COVID-19. They do things like healing programs, violence prevention programs. They do massive kind of Aboriginal men's health gatherings with over 100 100 men at a time. Obviously, they've not been able to do that, but they've taken their stuff online. They've done online gatherings. They've provided a 24/7 support line for the blokes that they work with. Their response has been really noted and felt like it happened overnight. Amazing response. But I do think we've got Ken Young from the Omni Group. So for those who don't know, Omni has been around for, it must be nearly 20 years. It's older men, new ideas. It's discussion groups for older men. And I think we've got Ken Young with us from the Greensboro Omni Group.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, I'd like to say a few words about what you've been up to, Ken.
Well, I think we've made this far by the fact that we Zoomed fairly early in the piece. We have a small group at Greensboro. We're just one of nearly 30 groups in Victoria, and there are others in New South Wales. Omni is a program of Coda Victoria, and we just talk. We don't do anything else, although some groups do get up to other things as well as their Omni meeting, where we just spend the first half of the meeting saying good day to each other. Each man speaks without interruption, quite often for the first time in their lives. And then we have a cup of tea, and then we go around the group again and talk to a topic that's been nominated at the previous meeting. It's we don't deal with anything terribly difficult. Most of the men are relatively fully functioning. We're a preventative exercise, in my view. I started with it in 2006. It only started in Victoria in 2004. And I'm having loads of fun. I don't think I really need any awards. I'm just enjoying myself. Doing what I like doing.
Good. So, and how old's the oldest member in your Zoom Omni group, Ken?
Well, we lost our oldest just recently, not through COVID-19. We had a couple of 90-year-olds, 95 and 96. We've still got our 95-year-old. There's me and another guy who are in our 80s. I'm 82. Most of us are 70s. I think we've got one bloke who's in his 60s. But every group in Victoria is different sizes, different shapes, and different processes. It's a place to go if someone wants a chat, wants someone to talk to in a friendly, safe environment.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I'm sorry for your loss. There's a couple of comments of condolence there in the group. I guess at 96 he had a good innings.
Sorry?
At 96, your friend you lost had a good innings.
Yes, he was a World War II veteran and a farmer and a lovely bloke. We all loved him very much, and we only had him for a short time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it goes with the territory. If you're going to be amongst old blokes all the time, you're going to lose one or two.
Yeah.
But the friendships you make are very, very satisfying.
Got it. Thanks, Ken. We've heard then from Matt, who was talking about engaging with children under 5, and Ken, who's talking about engaging with men of 95. So that kind of gives a bit of an idea of the spread of the projects we have. And Ken, I think one of the reasons you've shown up as a nominee here is because, a lot of people said when COVID-19 kicked in that online groups are all very well and good for, latte sipping people in Melbourne suburbs, but, old boys over 65 don't go online. Well, you bloody proved them wrong and showed that age is no barrier to using technology.
And we often have, we've had family members get them online where they're not comfortable with it at all. In fact, we had a couple today who were in their 70s, where their wives, who were constantly Zooming amongst their friends, women know how to do it much better than men, and their wives set them up there, and they joined us today.
Great. Thanks, Ken. Thanks for being here. Delighted to see both you and Omni, the Older Men New Ideas group, represented at the Men's Health Awards this year. So that's Victoria. What we're going to do now is, firstly, to just acknowledge the diversity of organisations working in the men's health space, from sheds men's mental health projects, to circles and gatherings like the Island of Men, to a book club in a pub, to prostate cancer projects, to Aboriginal men's health projects. Such diversity represented here. What we're going to do now is tell you first who they're all winners, but we have to have actual named winners. And what we're going to do now is tell you who the top three are in no particular order. The top three in Victoria are, virtual drum roll please. This is where you need to get your virtual claps and thumbs up and things going, and your waves and your all of that. We have, in no particular order, Mikey Lee and the Island of Men projects. We have Shay Layton and the Tough Guy Butt Club. And we have Matt Reynolds of Mindful Oz. And ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this year's Victoria People's Vote Award is going to be announced after the Tasmanian shortlist. Hold on in there. I like an anticlimax. So we'll come back to that. We're going to make sure you Victorian mobs stick around for the Tasmanians. You can't have the Taswegians left on their own. That's not fair. So, Tasmania. Shreefy, have we got the Tasmania slide, please? Here it comes. Thank you, Shreefy. And thanks to Shreefy and our team of international interns who are supporting us through the COVID-19 period. So we have, starting with the local Men's Health Hero Award, a worthy nominee, another name that pops up wherever you are around Tasmania and talking about mental health and suicide prevention. It's my second time hanging out with him today in Zoom. Great to see you here again, Mitch. Do you like to introduce yourself and let these good people know who you are?
Yeah, good to see you again, Glenn. I am representing today as well James and Tasha online who work with us, and it's good to see John and Jonathan, some other Tassie representatives here too, who we've certainly connected with over the journey. We are in the mental health and suicide prevention space, obviously, and we're an organisation who's partnered with Relationships Australia Tasmania, and we have programs in schools, sporting clubs, and also in workplaces and community groups. So better educating people around mental health, supportive conversations, and where to get help, etc. Basically breaking down the stigma, similar to what Matty Reynolds said earlier, getting people out of the stigma and encourage them to know how important it is to have conversations. So I've loved, all your stuff you've done recently, Glenn. And I think if anything today and in the last couple of weeks of all your men's health stuff is showed me how many other awesome initiatives and organisations there are out there. And that's what I said today. And it's great for our team to be on here seeing some other awesome things that are happening across the country. So good on you.
Thanks, Mitch, and take the acknowledgement. Thank you for the acknowledgement, but take the acknowledgement. You're a worthy nominee. Great to see you on the list. Next, the best men's lived experience speaker. I had the privilege of, I think it was 3 years ago, running an event in Hobart, and this fella came along to do a lived experience talk, and I went, "Oh, he's good. He's good. I want to work with him again." And I did have the opportunity to work with John again a couple of occasions. And I used to look at the feedback forms after events where John and I worked together. And I would first look at my scores. I might get, 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. But I tell you, every time John had a session, 5 out of 5 across the board. So I'm both jealous and also really pleased to see John Clark acknowledged as a great men's lived experience speaker. Would you like to introduce yourself, John?
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. And you still have a better accent, so I'm still envious of that. And I really enjoyed teaming with you too. I think we really complement each other well. I work for Rural Alive and Well, and we're a state-based suicide prevention organisation. So we do face-to-face outreach work, but we also do training, mental health first aid, suicide prevention training, and we work with industries. On the weekend, I worked for SES Search and Rescue. We were called into the rescue and search for a missing male who took off on Saturday morning. He'd been discharged from his local mental health facility 2 weeks ago. He returned to work last week, and on Saturday morning at 6 a.m. he left home and hasn't been seen since. His doctor's appointment was on Saturday, and his wife turned up at the search. That involved police, SES, chopper, drone, ATVs, horseback and trail bike riders looking everywhere for this bloke. He drove up to his farm and disappeared. So his wife came down and brought a heap of food to feed people, and had a really good chat to her. I said, is there any reason why he took off today? And she said he had a doctor's appointment and he didn't know what to say to his doctor anymore. Long-term depression, and had 4 suicide attempts. So the search is being wound back today, but it just reminded me, he's leaving behind a wife, a 20-year-old son and a 3-year-old daughter. And, suicide stops one person's pain and just spreads it everywhere. So it's a great reminder of why we do this stuff. He's the sort of guy that I always have in mind. That's what motivates me. That's what I'm passionate about. If I can talk to guys like that and hopefully connect them into some services to get some help and save a life, that just makes all our work worthwhile.
Yeah, thanks, John, and thanks for that reminder of the importance of the work that you and so many others do. I know you catch a lot of guys, and sometimes some get through the cracks. So
Absolutely.
There'll be a lot more getting
Still
through the cracks.
A lot more work to be done.
Sure. And thanks for all that you're doing already. So next we have the best men's group or program, and it's great to see Men's Resources Tasmania listed here. Can be hard to explain what Men's Resources Tasmania does if you're not in the kind of world of peak body and strategic bodies. But AMHF's a peak body. We don't deliver any services, but we connect people and we represent people. And in our ideal world, there would be one of us in every state and territory. So there would be a body representing all men's organisations in Victoria, in South Australia. At the moment, we've only got 2. We've got a few years ago, you would say the most dynamic was the guys in WA who had staff and some funding. The guys in WA is still going, but they're running on a voluntary basis. And so at the moment, the most dynamic state or territory-wide organisation representing men is without doubt Men's Resources Tasmania. Got a bit of funding behind them, but most of what they're doing is driven by the hard work of a core team of very passionate individuals. I can see Jonathan and Brendan both here. JB, are you going to take this?
Sure. Yep. I want to acknowledge Brendan, though, who is on the chat with us, who's really one of the leaders of men's health movement in Tasmania, has been for nearly 30 years, involved with Tasman and various other organisations, and has in the last couple of years joined us on the board with Men's Resources Tas. And yeah, we're in a funny space. Haven't really been a service provider as such. We've developed one main resource, the Blokes Book, which some people will know of. We've got another one on the way, which is going to be for new dads. But yeah, we've been wanting to sort of try and advocate, play an advocacy role, trying to get other services, not trying to replicate services, but trying to encourage them to think differently about working with men, and advocating for a male perspective, particularly on suicide prevention. And that's probably where we've had a bit of success in recent times. But yeah, it's great to be, connected again with Mitch and John and folks from around Tassie. It was great last year to reconnect or to connect at the awards that AMHF hosted, and I'm pretty keen to try and get a Zoom for us to happen again in a couple of weeks after this month of amazing stuff AMHF is running. So look forward to chatting to you then.
Great, thanks, Jonathan. And as I look down this great list of organisations and individuals working in Tasmania, I can trace back my first point of contact with each one of them to Men's Resources Tasmania, and that's what an organisation. That's just one of the things that an organisation like Men's Resources Tasmania does. Is that connection point into the wider community and the wider sector of people working to improve the lives and health of men and boys in your particular area. If any of you in Victoria are sitting there thinking, we should take on making one of those happen in Victoria, come and talk to us. We'd love to support you making that happen. So next is Jonathan. Do you know, is Rosalie Martin here?
I haven't seen her, no.
Would you mind just taking another 30 seconds and just explaining
Sure.
why? Yeah, thank you.
So Rosalie Martin is former Tasmanian of the Year, and has run an organisation formerly called Chatter Matters. It's actually now called Connect 42. And a big part of what she's a speech pathologist by trade, and has set up literacy programs in jails, and particularly around helping dads reading stories and recording themselves reading stories to so that they can then be played to their kids to try and maintain some connection. And we just, fantastic program.
Great. Thanks, Jonathan. So great to see Rosalie acknowledged in the Women Working in Men's Health category. And finally, I don't think Paddy's here.
Brendan could speak to Paddy.
Okay.
Possibly.
Yeah, thanks. If you don't mind, Brendan, let me just sort of set it up. So, so the reason that Paddy's shown up in the significant response to COVID-19, Paddy comes from the world of men's circles and men's gatherings. And when we've been reaching out and asking, well, which of these men's circles have been, dealing with COVID, shifting online, Paddy's name comes up over and over again, not just in terms of keeping his own group connected online, but supporting other groups connect. He started to connect people across Australia to his men's group. He's in men's groups that meet across international borders, and he's produced a guide on how to run men's groups online. But Brendan, maybe you can say a bit more about who Paddy is and why he is a worthy nominee. You've got your microphone on there. Not to put you on the... Your microphone, you need to unmute yourself, Brendan.
Thanks, Glenn. Yeah, look, I think you said it all, Glenn. He lives in the northwest part of the state, was heavily involved in the Tasman organisation again, and brings a lot of professional qualities to his work. Was very, very early jumped on to using Zoom as a tool to connect men within the state, around the country and internationally. A very wise head, and is a good counsel for a lot of people. So he does really good work.
That's great, Brendan. Yeah, so whilst this is about what's happened with COVID in the last 3 months, all of that builds on, I guess, years, probably decades of work.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Brendan. And good to see some guys from the Tasman community acknowledged in this gathering too. Tasman were the winners last year with their amazing, what was it called? The Heart Project? Men with Heart.
Men with Heart, yep.
The Men with Heart Project. Go and check out the Men with Heart Project from the Tasman mob. That was the winner last year. But we're not about the past. We're not about the future even. We're about the present. And what we presently want to know is who is the winner in Tasmania. So as with Victoria, we have a short list of 3. Prepare your virtual clapping, your thumbs up, your applause, whatever you want to do. We have a short list of 3 people coming up, and in no particular order. Ladies and gentlemen, we have... I'm doing that pause because I'm trying to work out how to pronounce Rosalind. Is it Rosalind from Not Chatter Matters from Connect 42? Didn't do that very well. I'll get this one better. Mr. John Clark of Rural Alive and Well, Tasmania. And the third person on the shortlist, or the third organisation, is Mitch Mcpherson of Speak Up, Stay Chatty. And, ladies and gentlemen, I can announce that of those 3, the clear winner is going to be announced after the Victoria ones. We've got to keep building the tension, folks. We've got to keep building the tension. So we'll go back to Victoria. And Ray, are you here still? Or have we still got Ray here?
Yes, I'm still
Wonderful.
here.
So I'll give you some notice this time.
Thank you so much, Glenn.
That's okay. You know we like to do things at lastminute.com and throw people in at the deep end. I will announce the winner, and I'd just like you, after we've announced both winners, to say a few words to acknowledge both the winners, and anything you want to say about to mark and celebrate everyone who's participated. I'm sure you can find the words for that.
I'm sure I can.
Brilliant. So we're going to do this because it's on Zoom by way of the technology of the sharing of the screen. So I am about to get a slide with the name of the winner up on my screen. And I'll remind you, in Victoria, it's between Matt Reynolds, Mindful Oz, Mikey Lee, Island of Men, and the Tough Guy Book Club, represented by Shay Layton. Folks, I now have the slide on my screen, and in a moment, I am about to do the golden reveal and press share. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have some tension building in the room? Virtual drum rolls. The winner of the People's Vote in Victoria in the National Men's Health Awards this year is...
Oh!
The Tough Guy Book Club. Shay, would you like to say a few words? Thank you, the producer and all the people that you love in 1 minute or less. Need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, thanks, guys. That's really nice. Thanks for having us, Glenn and everyone at the Men's Health Forum. I'd like to give some special shout outs to Daniel, who I know is in here, one of my directors and one of our officers, president of Melbourne City chapter. And a big shout out to JB from Footscray chapter. And thanks for everyone. And also just great being in a room with people who do such great work. I've honestly just spent the last hour Googling you all, and you're all really excellent. So thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
Everybody, also, if you're in an area where we've got one of ours, come down sometime. Come and have a beer. We'll be in the pubs when the pubs reopen.
Yeah, that's great. And if you're not, then open a chapter.
Yeah. Well, that's how we do it.
That's right.
So.
I've only just got the book pun of you having chapters. I've just.
Oh yeah. Chapters and lots of like old dodgy bikey books as well. They have chapters as well. We have presidents and officers and sergeant at arms in each chapters and all kinds of nonsense.
Love it. And I think one of the things that's really resonated with people about what you're doing, because you are a bit of on the outskirts of our world, and it kind of like have appeared from nowhere because you haven't come out of our sort of community. But you kind of walk back. You've spread backwards into our community. It's not just because you're doing that really important social connection piece in an innovative, male-friendly way, but it's because you've got an idea. It's not just a one-off thing. You've got an idea that's growing and spreading.
That's the thing, is that book club, Tough Guy Book Club doesn't disappear at the end of the month. It doesn't disappear after the event. It builds a more like a dense lattice work of people in your area. People aren't allowed to talk about work, so there's different ages and groups and socioeconomic guys, but they're really tough, really caring groups of men in those areas. There's places that were once all strangers and now they're like best men at each other's weddings and that sort of thing. And we go to them. We go to the pub as opposed to advertising and waiting for them to come to us.
Yeah, that's it. You meet men where they are. It's an ancient principle of male-friendly services, and you're doing all the things that people know work when it comes to reaching out to blokes. Fantastic, great work. So back to Tasmania. To remind you, we have Rosie, we have John Clark, and we have Mitch Mcpherson and the Speak Up, Stay Chatty mob. And so virtual silent drum roll, hand claps, thumbs up by the now familiar technique of sharing my screen. I'm really pleased to announce that the winner this year is, 2 clicks, it's been a long day. Local men's health hero for Tasmania and the winner of the People's Popular Vote, Mitch Mcpherson of Speak Up, Stay Chatty. Mitch, give us your best.
Unmute myself. Awesome, thank you. Well done to John. John, before I do a couple of thank yous, but John, like you, Glenn, he spoke at a conference we were at, and I knew him that he worked at Royal Alive and Well, but when he stood up and delivered his lived experience, pretty incredibly powerful, and I can't wait to watch it again, and I don't say that for every other speaker. So well done to John on making the top three. On behalf of our team, thank you very much. This is testament to the work that our team does across the state to win a Tasmania voted award like this. So, yeah, we thank everyone for being a part of the work that you do, but more importantly, or as equally as importantly, thank you to the Tassie community who continue to support us, embrace us, and spread our message across the state. And because of that, we'll probably never know the absolute impact we're having when it comes to suicide prevention in Tasmania, but I'm sure it's positive, and I'm sure we're making a difference. And I wake up every day incredibly proud of our team. So thank you to everyone that voted. Thanks everyone for being on here, and thank you, Glenn, for your incredible hard work. So on behalf of all of us, thank you so much.
Great work, Mitch. Delighted to see that you've won that with a popular vote. And a reminder to coming to you in a moment, Ray, so you can prepare yourself.
I'm very prepared.
Oh, wonderful. A reminder to everyone that was nominated, you're still in the running for the national awards. Because just because you didn't win the popular award in Tasmania or Victoria, our judging panel may think that you are the best project when it comes to women working in men's health, when it comes to groups, when it comes to lived experience and so on. So you're still in the running, and we will announce those winners on Friday. I will hand over to Ray Bonney to close the event on behalf of our board.
What an absolute pleasure, Glenn. And for those of you who don't know me, I've been with the board of the Australian Men's Health Forum for a few years now, and recently became vice president, which is such a thrill and an honour to be able to do continue the kind of work that I'm doing in the men's health space. But since I've been with the Australian Men's Health Forum and seen the evolution of the Men's Health Awards, it's just been amazing to see the kind of work that people are doing around Australia, most of it pro bono, most of it in a part-time capacity, alongside full-time jobs and families. So for all of you and those that aren't here, I give my undying gratitude to, because it's people like us that are out in the field that absolutely need the resources to put into the hands of men and their families to start managing better. And we need more. And the quality of what's been presented, and I did read through all of the nominations, and I wasn't bored at all. It just further inspired me that, we are doing such bloody great things here in Australia for men. Not enough, but again, thank you for all of your time and effort. And, today I didn't really know much about the book club. What is the Bad Men's Book Club?
Guys.
What? The Tough Guys Book Club. Well, I've just actually written that down, because when I get off this call, I'll be sending that link through to probably about a dozen people I know that will jump on that straight away. So thank you, and well deserved. And speak up, stay chatty. I met with James Rice in one of the breakout rooms today, very, very briefly, but again, something I didn't know a lot about, and another resource that I know too. So I'm planning on actually downloading all the nominations for every category and every state, and making a resource pack to send out to all of my my network, which I think is just going to be gold. So thank you on behalf of myself and the Australian Men's Health Forum.
Beautifully done, Ray. With no briefing from us, you've stepped in and you've brought us home. Thank you.
It was a test, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was because we are very busy, and thank you very much for stepping in and just doing that of all the other work that you do. Shay, look out, because I know you're opening chapters, but it looks like Ray wants to get hold of it and start opening libraries. So I like to say, I've been saying a few times this week, there used to be about 20, 25 years ago, about 20 men's sheds in Australia, and now there's over 1,000. Now there are more men's sheds than McDonald's. And when we see groups like Tough Guys Book Club, Man Walk with 70 outlets, Mr. Perfect with 30 sites, that's now, imagine what some of those groups are going to be like in 10, 15 years. The potential is like the potential of the men's sheds movement from many years ago. So yeah, that's my final thought. We are closing the event, bam, and now we'll open the mic and you can stay and chat for a bit. I'll have to get off here in about 10 minutes because we've got Men's Health TV event happening at 5 p.m. and I need to go into another Zoom room. But anyone want to say anything? Say goodbye, say hi. It's free for all.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me come in. I'm looking forward to more of this coming up.
Fantastic. Where are you from, sir?
I'm from Hobart.
Good on you, Hugh.
Huh?
Thanks for being here. Good to see you.
Good to see you. What's your name?
So, Hugh.
Great.
H-U-G-H. I'm friends with Mitch.
I was talking with you earlier. Yeah, our chapter in Hobart is down at Shambles, the Shambles Brewery.
Yeah.
First Wednesday of the month, 7 o'clock. Every place meets at the same time.
Yep.
Don't have to read the damn thing. Turn up. Yep. Get you with the books in time.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for that, bud.
See you later, man.
See you guys.
Great, see ya.
Thanks, Glenn. Good on you, mate.
Cheers, Mitch. Good to hang out with you quite a lot today. We'll see you again in a year or something, maybe sooner.
See you tomorrow, hopefully. I'll call you.
Well done, Mitch. Good on you.
Thanks, guys. See you, everyone. Good on you too. Cheers.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. Thanks, everyone, for your time today, and congratulations to everyone that took home an award, and equally congratulations to everyone that's just contributing to this really important mission that is very dear to my heart. So, yeah, love to all.
Thanks, Mikey. Mikey, give me a call. We'll grab a beer when you're back in town.
Thanks, Mikey.
Yeah, good on you guys. Take care.
See you later.
Good on you, crew. I'll head off. Thanks again, everyone.
See you later.
Glenn, I'll have to drop out for a while. So thanks very much indeed. And might catch you a bit later, but I've got a long drive ahead of me.
Okay. Thanks, Lindsay.
I'll catch you tomorrow. Good.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bye. Bye, everyone. And thanks very much indeed. It's an honour. See you later.
See ya. Hi, Jack.
Thanks, guys. I'm going to probably go as well. I'm going to go have a beer. Thanks for everybody who's involved in this today. It was really, really nice. Thanks a lot.
Congratulations. I'm going to be in contact too, Shay.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Everything, contact will happen slowly. Emails get answered like once a week and stuff. So we do what we can, but please get in contact.
Takes that long to read a book, I guess, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's lots of moving parts. I'll see you guys later. Thanks a lot.
See ya.
Cheers, Shay. Congratulations. Great work.
Thanks, Glenn and Ray, and hi, Shruti and Jaspreet. Awesome to join one of the sessions. So it was really exciting. I had a massive grin. I'm not going to be able to wipe off my face. So,
so good to see you, Jack Clayfield.
Yes, you too, Ray Bonnie. Anyway, don't let me hold you up. I'll join another one soon. So.
See you soon. Too.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thanks, Shruti. Thanks, Jaspreet.
Bye, Shruti. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Ray.
Thanks, Ray. Sorry to throw you in at the deep end there.
That's all right. I thought, oh gosh, I could have stumbled my way through it, but I mean, with stuff like that, you could be really offensive if you got one thing wrong, I think.
All good.
That was great. That was really good.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Oh,
I wasn't sure, how well it would work, but yeah, it's lovely, and people connect, and people get acknowledged, and people make it's lovely.
Oh, well, I've tried to sit on as much on as much stuff as possible, and I noticed that especially early on the participation was pretty high.
Yeah.
Has it dropped? Has it continued at that level? Or?
No, it's dropped a little bit, but then we've done longer events, and what you find is that if you do a short event, you'll get a lot of people who are half engaged.
Yeah.
If you do a long event, you'll get a smaller amount of people who are fully engaged. They're like,
okay.
Yeah. So if you do like a day, you'll get 40, 50 people, and they'll come for the whole day because we've spoken to their area of special interest, working with older men, working with rural men, whatever it is. So we've kind of hit a critical. We've hit kind of the limits of our kind of current reach, which is about 11 for sector events, which is around 11 or 1,200 people maybe in total. Not all at one time. Yeah. And what we can see now is that whilst registrations for events are going up, the number of people who have registered overall isn't going up. So it's the same people coming to different events. So
but they're all going to be reproduced, aren't they? So people can
Yeah. There's a whole other level for us to go to, but at our current reach, we've probably maxed out at about 1,100-1,200 people that we've reached to engage.
Yeah, because there were lots of ones that I missed out on that I really wanted to sit in on.
Yeah, that's resource that will continue to do work for us.
Yeah.
And then there's the voting thing is a completely different kettle of fish, because we've got 5,000 people voted.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so that's a different audience. That's a little bit more of a public audience, like people who follow these groups and support these groups. So, yeah. I need to go because I've got a 5 o'clock.
All right. No worries. No, well done. Pleasure. Anytime. See ya.